What's going on, motherfuckers? What's up? Well, we got some AEW Dynamite tonight. Fight for the Fallen. Big show tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to this.
It's time for AEW's yearly event, Fight for the Fallen. Hi, everybody. It's Tony Schiavone in the AEW Control Center. Our fourth annual Fight for the Fallen is set for tonight from the DCU Center in Worcester, Massachusetts, and live on TBS beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. Tonight's event will benefit Oceana, a nonprofit organization dedicated to defending the world's oceans and marine life, to end global fin trade once and for all. 73 million shark fins are sold worldwide each year.
Wow.
Be a part of the solution by supporting Oceana and Discovery's Shark Week Fund.
Don't sell them shark fins.
Trade once and for all. Text SHARK to 707070 now to save our oceans and sharks.
Save them sharks, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, now in the Fight for the Fallen card from Worcester, Mass. John Moxley will defend the AEW Interim World Championship against Rush, who will have Andrade El Idolo and Jose in his corner.
Yeah.
After his electrifying win over Dragon Lee Saturday at Death Before Dishonor, Rush had this to say.
Yeah.
I've been the dominant face of every company I step in.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jacob RP.
In the fold here, 9-0, including his AEW debut.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Jacob RP running a promo.
And that 9 goes across many countries and many organizations.
I am El Toro Blanco Rush, and I'm here to take down on those who call.
Is that true, Jacob RP? You're there to take everybody down. Cool. Take them down, RP. Take them down.
Big name.
That makes 10 straight wins across AEW, Ring of Honor, and Mexico.
Mostly
for Jacob RP.
And when I told you cómo se debe desmadrar a las estrellas de AEW, te voy a desmadrar, te voy a pisar.
Now RP is speaking Spanish, ladies and gentlemen. He says, I am going to destroy you, and I am going to step all over you. I will translate for you, ladies and gentlemen, as RP speaks Spanish.
You will know who Rush is through violence, man. Just remember, if you mess with the bull, you got that hard. I'll see you, Diamond Barrel.
That was the great Jacob RP with a message, ladies and gentlemen, to everybody. Telling everybody he's going to tear us up.
No pasa nada.
No pasa, ladies and gentlemen. No pasa, RP just said.
Rush is one of the biggest international stars in all of pro wrestling. It'll be a great afternoon, when he collides with John Moxley at Fight for the Fallen. Also in Worcester, at Fight for the Fallen, Bryan Danielson will make his return to the ring for the first time since the Anarchy in Arena match at Double or Nothing.
AEW Fight for the Fallen tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yeah.
And he will face Daniel Garcia of the Jericho Appreciation Society. Danielson made this announcement this past weekend at the San Diego Comic-Con. His announcement was directed at Chris Jericho, as both were on the AEW panel.
To wrestle you or anybody in the Jericho Appreciation Society, so I thought you would have known, or maybe you just don't know anything about this. Oh yeah, that's very convenient.
Brian, you want to call me out at a Comic-Con? I'm in there wrestling your boy Wheeler Yuta, having one of the most hard-fought battles that I've ever had in my life. My knee popped out in the match. My back went out in the match. And you're doing an autograph signing at San Diego Comic-Con, and you want to call me out. It's real sweet over there, isn't it?
Wednesday, I'll be wrestling Daniel Garcia.
It's not sweet here at AEW when I'm fighting in a double cage, getting thrown in thumbtacks, getting hit with belts, getting my forehead cut open by John Moxley. It ain't sweet, man. You're all well-rested and fresh. You had a couple weeks off. I haven't. I've been here every week grinding. I've been here fighting for my life, Brian. And you've been sitting at home with your wife and your kids and your animals working on your little garden. I don't have the chance to do that, Brian.
Daniel Garcia's been fighting for his life, ladies and gentlemen. Another person fighting for their life.
I'm your first match back at AEW. I'm your first match back at wrestling. I don't think it's a secret. You're a big influence on one of my styles. Look at the color of my gear. I'm wearing maroon because of you. You're the reason why I wore this gear tonight, because you wore the pure title. You wore Ring of
Daniel Garcia's fighting for his life.
Honor. But it's a new age, Brian. It's not the age of the pure professional wrestlers anymore. It's the age of the sports entertainer. And I'm the best out of all of them. And I'm learning from the greatest of all time, Chris Jericho. Brian, I'm going to use everything at my disposal to hurt you. And maybe I can send you on a nice little vacation with your family.
This is the map of America. And if you live in one of the 20 states revealed at the end of
Daniel Garcia waits in the wings for Danielson in what should be a great one-on-one matchup. Also, we will have a handicap match on Dynamite as part of Fight for the Fallen. And Swerve Strickland says he's had enough and wants both Tony Nese and Smart Mark Sterling in the ring because of this bogus petition being passed around to remove Swerve from AEW. For this match, Swerve's tag team partner, one half of the World Tag Team Champs Keith Lee, is barred from ringside. Your comments from both Swerve Strickland and Smart Mark Sterling.
I promise you, man, the next time you see Swerve in another battle royal, it's going to be way too soon. Because every time I eliminate somebody, it causes more problems for me than it does solutions. So my solution to this problem is to kill two birds with one stone. Get rid of Tony Nese and get rid of Mark Sterling by agreeing to a handicap match the night before. It was the only way I was going to get them in the ring at the same time. And by the way, don't worry. I asked for the other half of the AEW World Tag Team Champions, the limitless one, Keith Lee, to stay backstage and watch me handle my business. Ain't nothing to worry about. I took care of Tony Nese before, and Kevin Gates damn near took care of Tony Nese and Mark Sterling by himself. So I'm going to have fun. This is going to be a good time. Swerve hasn't gotten out and got loose in singles action in quite some time. So Mark Sterling, Tony Nese, get ready to step into whose house? Swerve's house.
All right, we got Kevin Gates, Danhausen. Okay, we got Swerve, Strickland. Ladies and gentlemen of the proverbial jury, Swerve Strickland thinks that this is a joke. He thinks that I'm a joke. He thinks that Tony Nese is a joke. Well, I regret to inform him that there is nothing funny about the People Against Swerve Strickland petition, as I like to call it, pass. There's nothing funny about my law firm. And there's especially nothing funny about the premier athlete, Tony Nese. Now, the roster came to me with concerns. And as one of the locker room leaders, I knew I had to act. So in using my American right to protest, I created a petition to remove him from the roster. And in doing so, I was humiliated on national television just trying to do my job. And Tony Nese was assaulted by Swerve's guest, the delinquent rapper, Kevin Gates. Now, Swerve might look at me as someone who's not the fastest, maybe somebody who's not the strongest, but I have this. And I have this. And they say that confidence is good, but overconfidence always sinks the ship well. Boom. Direct hit. Because in challenging him to a 2-on-1 handy-capable match and banning Keith Lee from ringside, I knew that in his hubris, he would accept, and he did. He did. And now, Tony Nese and I can expose him, the fake, the snake, the fraud, and the failure that he really is. And imagine if a lowly lawyer like me was able to pin him in the middle of the ring, we could really expose him to the world as someone that doesn't measure up with the rest of AEW. Now, the person I feel the worst about in this whole situation, of course, is Keith Lee. I mean, he's just an innocent bystander being taken advantage of by his friend. That's why Tony Nese and I are going to be the heroes that Keith and all of the AEW fans need on Dynamite. Thank you.
This is the way Swerve wants it, and it will happen on AEW Dynamite as part of Fight for the Fallen. Also, the AEW Women's World title will be on the line as the champion Thunder Rosa defends against Miyu Yamashita.
I'm a fighting champion. I've said it multiple times. And wrestling Yamashita in Japan, just bring back that fire that I was missing.
It's one-on-one. You are in a ring in foreign land right now. You're in Japan with that AEW Women's World Championship.
Foreign land.
I don't know if you guys know. My first experiences outside of America was in Japan. That's why I started wrestling. That's why I found who Thunder Rosa really was. That fighter that never gives up.
Yamashita, 1, 2, 3, Miyu Yamashita.
Even though I lost that match, I gained a lot back. And I cannot wait to face Yamashita in my own home.
Wow, man, dude, this is nuts. Miyu Yamashita has just pinned the AEW Women's World Champion Thunder Rosa and earned herself a shot at the championship.
Yamashita is, making waves everywhere in America. You're the next to watch. You're the next in line. You're my next victim. I wouldn't want to wrestle anyone else because I know you are the best, Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. You are the best. You are the up and coming, and you're hungry, just as I am. She is a striker. When she hits in the ring and she hits you with those kicks, those strikes, you feel on every single part of your bones and flesh. I know what to expect from you, and you know what to expect from me. So this part 2 is gonna be better than part 1. Yamashita, I have a message for you. Ima, anata wa watashi mo omei imasu. This is gonna say in America, the win is gonna be here.
She told her to suck it.
The win by Yamashita over Thunder Rosa in Japan in the Eliminator match was quite a spin on this title matchup. Can Yamashita beat
Thunder Rosa? Told her to suck it hard. Wow, Thunder Rosa. Can't believe he told her to suck it.
the champ twice? And did the loss by Thunder Rosa destroy her confidence against the sensation from Japan? We're going to find out. Also at Fight for the Fallen on AEW Dynamite, the Open Challenge continues for the FTW Championship as Danhausen has stepped up and will face the champion, Absolute Ricky Starks.
Nice. Danhausen.
This Dynamite is going to be Ricky Starks taking on Danhausen for the FTW Championship. And I want to let everybody know at home watching that this isn't a very comedic Ricky Starks you're talking to. You're talking to a main eventer. You're talking to a superstar, a world-class athlete taking on Danhausen. If you ask me, Danhausen, your record does not precede you here at AEW. In fact, had I known that you would be the one challenging, maybe I would actually ended the match a little bit quicker than I did last Wednesday.
Well, Cole Carter stepped up, but Ricky Starks backed it up. I got a little bit more in the tank, baby. And I'm
The great Danhausen. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
feeling like this is the right time to keep it going.
I deserve to be FTW champion. I deserve to be a main event.
I deserve to be where I am right now because I have busted my ass to get here. Let's get another challenge out here. Richard!
Danhausen against one they call Ricky Starks, or as his personal close friends like Danhausen like to call him, Richard. Danhausen has known this fellow for many years, came up with him on the roads, we traveled about. One time took a whole road trip across the country. California, all the way to Rhode Island. Came back, wrestled each other, day in, day out. Every single night it was Ricky versus Danhausen, Ricky and Danhausen, headlining the independent scenes. And now Danhausen finds us in AEW. It is I, Danhausen.
The great Danhausen.
Has something that Danhausen wants. It's a swearing title. Some sort of open challenge for the wonderful FTW Championship of some sort. And as the Inhuman Suplex Machine, Danhausen is owned. He's his birthright. So Danhausen would like to accept that
Right now, it's going to be Absolute Ricky Starks versus Danhausen for the
great Danhausen.
FTW Championship.
You want to mimic Danhausen? Try to embarrass Danhausen in the ring in front of all the Danhausens and the fans of Danhausen at home? You will pay, Richard. You will pay.
Regardless if it's you, if it's somebody named Joe, Smith, John, Judas, it doesn't matter to me.
Judas
At the end of the day,
John
I'm going to
Smith.
prove exactly why I have been FTW champion for a full year, and that's because I'm absolute.
Ricky
Because I have
Starks.
busted my ass to get here, and that's not to say that you haven't done the same thing, my man. I
Hey,
won't
Ricky
let
Starks.
the face paint fool me, because beyond that, I know there lies something a little bit more sinister.
Nice chair. Now, anyways, I suppose we should get down to business. Richard's armor. Danhausen already knows it. He watches the television every week. Ricky Starks is on the television every week, every single time. He takes notes. If you remember correctly, it's Revolution. Danhausen cursed Ricky, got in his head. So perhaps we shall take cursing mentality, curse Ricky,
Danhausen launching a curse.
and then
Curse
Danhausen
him.
do his finishing maneuver, the pin. Holds the leg, says 1, 2, 3, Danhausen wins. Wonderful.
Cursing
Get the
him.
championship,
Curse
Danhausen
him.
will be cursed. Are we done?
Curse him, Danhausen. Curse Ricky Starks. Curse him. Curse that guy. Curse.
There is nobody like Ricky Starks. There will never be anybody like Ricky Starks, and so on and so forth. It shall come to pass
that you, Danhausen, will see exactly why I am in the position I am in.
Ricky is a showman. He loves to be on stage and show off. That's what Ricky Starks is about.
But if you think that you can be just as evil and just as sinister, wait till you see the other side of Ricky Starks.
And that's what makes him such a great pro wrestler, such a big star here.
Ricky
That is the side that I'm afraid of. And unfortunately for you, that's the side you're going to get up close and personal. I am FTW champion. That is not going to change. I am absolute Ricky Starks. That is not going to change. I am the man from Inno. I got a big mouth and a bad attitude, baby, and there ain't nobody that's going to change that. And not start with you.
I don't know though. Ricky Starks has got some big veins popping out on his foreheads there. I think he's fucking on steroids with that big vein popping out on the right side of his head. Look like it's gonna blow. Look like Ricky Starks' head's gonna fucking pop, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, what's going on? Figure on Wednesdays I'm gonna come on here sometime during the day and give a little preview every week of Dynamite and Rampage until I quit that. No, I'm just kidding. I won't quit that. But that's what I plan on doing. And then I'm trying to get Tony Khan's Busted Open. Try and get that in here every week too on the recording of this every week when I come on do the reviews. And just like big AAA pay-per-views, I'll come on the day of or whatever to do a review about that before it comes up. And then NWA, I'll be doing that too. The same thing coming on. And then obviously the AEW pay-per-views, I'll come on the day of the pay-per-view and let you know what's going on with that. Sunday is Ric Flair's last match, so I got a show scheduled for before that. And you can see it's got a trailer in it, so that's why it plays that video when you go to check out the thumbnail. They have trailers built into them, and then when the video is over, it'll automatically send you to another video automatically after this one finishes. And it's the same with that one on Sunday too. And I'm going to start doing that from now on, where they're going to have trailers in them and then they're going to roll to another video right after the live stream is done. I figured all that out. And then you see that purple pick in the corner of the video live stream, and it says Minnesota Silver Roll, or it says Minnesota Vikings fan, and then it says Minnesota Silver Roll. If you have a mouse, any kind of a mouse, you can click that little pick, and it'll subscribe. It'll let you subscribe. So that's what that little purple pick up in the corner is. It says Minnesota Vikings fan and Minnesota Silver Roll on it. It's so if you're not subscribed to the channel, you can click that with your mouse and it will let you subscribe. It's a subscribe option that I added. So I've been doing some upgrades to the channel, and that's why you see that little purple Minnesota Vikings fan, Minnesota Silver Roll, purple pick in the corner. That's what that is, ladies and gentlemen. Just to let you know. Danhausen versus Ricky Starks.
If you do not agree with this, you're cursed. Not that, Danhausen. See you later.
Oh, no.
Starks and Danhausen one-on-one in this, well, how do you talk about this match? This will be one of the most...
I do not want to be cursed, ladies and gentlemen.
Remarkable athletes in all of AEW, Ricky Starks, against one of the most popular but yet bizarre athletes ever to step in the ring in Danhausen. It's all a part of AEW's Fight for the Fallen on Dynamite tonight, live on TBS, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. The event will originate from the DCU Center in Worcester, Mass. For our fans coming to the event in Worcester tonight, tickets available at AEWTIX.com and get there early. Additional matches start around 7 p.m.
Google Fi, a phone plan by Google.
Fans, AEW Rampage headed your way, as always, this Friday, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central on TNT. 2 matches already signed will be All Ego Ethan Page against Leon Ruffin. This will be a rematch of a recent match from AEW Elevation, where All Ego was very upset at how Ruffin pushed him to the limit. Let's see what All Ego, a member of the Men of the Year, has in store. Also, it'll be teacher versus student, as Matt Sydal faces Lee Moriarty. Last week on Rampage, Moriarty scored a tainted win over Dante Martin, and an angry Sydal, who had come to the ring with Moriarty, made the challenge afterwards.
Is this how you want to get that big win? Like this? I didn't think you were desperate enough to take the low road. I believed in you. I believed in you. But now I believe I'm going to have to kick your ass. Next week on Rampage, you're not facing the student. You're facing the teacher, and you're not ready.
Matt Sydal, there you hear it, laying out the challenge to Lee Moriarty. Student versus teacher next Friday night on Rampage.
Wait a second, I think that's his business card.
Lee not taking the business card of Stokely Hathaway.
Very curious to see how this one turns out, and how Stokely Hathaway's appearance will have an impact on this match. That and more this Friday as part of AEW Rampage on TNT at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central. And now here's a look at where you can see AEW live in the coming weeks. Next Wednesday, AEW Dynamite Live comes to the Ohio State University campus.
Oh, yeah, motherfuckers.
2 days later, on Friday, August 5th.
Motherfuckers.
On Wednesday, August 10th, we return AEW Dynamite and Rampage to the Target Center in Minneapolis for the Quake by the Lake. And in 3 weeks, Rapids, Michigan. In 2 weeks, on Wednesday, August 10th, we return AEW Dynamite and Rampage to the Target Center in Minneapolis for the Quake by the Lake. Rapids, Michigan. In 2 weeks, on Wednesday, August 10th, we return AEW Dynamite and Rampage to the Target Center in Minneapolis for the Quake by the Lake. And in 3 weeks, on Wednesday, August 17th, we're back for AEW Dynamite Live and Rampage Coliseum in Charleston, West Virginia. And one more very important announcement to make. July 29th at 10 a.m. Eastern, Marine Life. The event will take place live on TBS at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. We'll come to you from the DCU Center in Worcester, Massachusetts. Get your tickets at AEWTIX.com. I'm Tony Schiavone. See you tonight ringside in Worcester and live on TBS. We are AEW.
Yeah. Quake by the lake, motherfuckers. Quake by the lake. Quake by the lake.
What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. So today we got a major warning for you guys, but also some good news, so make sure you stick around for that. Also want to talk about a little bit of an economic update for you, talk about how President Biden and the Biden administration are trying to change affordable housing, what's going on there as well, but also the news coming out today and tomorrow. So big stuff's happening. Let's jump right into it. All I ask is if you spend just 2 seconds, go ahead, hit that like button, and let's continue. So here's some of the good news. This is good news for everybody. First, nobody won the Mega Millions jackpot yesterday.
Damn.
So the Friday drawing is now going to be at $1.02 billion.
Damn, $1 billion bucks.
So if you were to take the cash payout, that would be about $602 million in cash in a lump sum.
Damn, that fucker's over $1 billion. That's crazy. That's fucking crazy that the lottery's at $1 billion if you win it. Holy fuck. Half of that would go for taxes. You still get $500 million. 500 million? Fucking what the fuck, man? Wow.
Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, there's not good odds. The odds are horrible. The odds are absolutely
That's
horrible.
why nobody's won.
They're like 1 in 303 million. But also, scientists say that the odds of being born are 1 in 400 trillion. So, you've beaten the odds before. Somebody has to win it. Not this time, but eventually somebody has to win the money. Why not? It could be you. Now, that's not financial advice because that is horrible advice to go and buy a lottery ticket. But the good news is, there's still money out there to be won. So that's some good news right now in an economy where there's not a lot of good stuff happening, right? The other good news is that more stores are actually providing.
Yeah, as long as I don't give fuck, I'm going to come on and do some updates for you, too, with what's going on. Yeah. Right, Fesla. Along with what's going on in the world, I'll give you guys some updates. I'll try to come on Wednesday sometime here and do the AEW shit, Control Center, give you some updates on fucking what's happening, on what they're saying and what they're talking about here. As I keep going here, as I keep battling on to you for you. Somebody gonna hit that lottery, maybe.
Getting some good deals on products to help liquidate some of their excess inventory. Some of these stores include Target and Walmart, Kohl's, also Dick's Sporting Goods, also running a lot of sales. So if you're looking for some good deals, you got a little bit of money, now might be the time to go out there and buy it. Now, let's come to talk about some of the news that's coming out tomorrow. And this is that the GDP data comes out tomorrow. Now, why is this so important? Well, there's a lot of reasons why this is important, but this is going to be key and something very, very important to watch for. And I say this because lately, President Biden has been saying that we aren't in a recession because there's certain people that aren't saying we're in one yet.
Wow.
But the problem is the people that he's expecting to say that, hey, we're in a recession, they take about 6 to 12 months after a recession to even say anything about it.
See?
An issue. We also know one senior administration official, he says, and I quote, we're seeing signs of slowing.
They can't even admit that we're in a recession. That's kind of weird. We are in a recession, I thought. It's kind of strange.
Slowing in the economy, but slowing in a direction towards positive growth with lower inflation, consistent with the kind of transition that we'd like to see. That's good. We are seeing slowing in the economy. Not the economy's going negative, but again, some are saying we're already in a recession. We won't actually have an answer tomorrow. And if we see a negative GDP number tomorrow, then technically we're in a recession. Now, the only difference between what is happening right now and in previous recessions is that currently we have a very strong job market. Now, I think the last time we've been in a situation where we experienced 2 consecutive quarters of GDP contraction,
nice. Cook some steak,
but
buddy.
we didn't fall into a recession. This didn't happen until like the 1950s.
We're in a recession,
so
boys.
70 some years since we have had 2 negative quarters of GDP, but we were not in a recession. So tomorrow we're going to know whether we are in a recession or not. But economists are expecting the GDP is going to see some slight growth, annualized about 0.4% from April to the June period. So we're going to see what happens there. The good news is the wait is almost over. We'll know tomorrow. So what is happening today? What's the big news coming out today?
Here about what's
happening today, and you need to be well aware of this because this is the Federal Reserve expected to.
I suppose, Bullseye, you just got here. We're just getting a little update on here on what's happening today here. Talking about good news, morning good news, major U.S. economic news. Biden challenges affordable housing. So I'm just playing this, and then also, like I said, on Wednesdays I'm gonna come on here and talk about the AEW Rampage and Dynamite a little bit before they go live tonight. So on Wednesdays, I'm going to come on and do that. I already was talking about that earlier. And then, like, when there's big matches, and shit, like Ric Flair's last match on Sunday, that tag match, I'm going to come on during the day and talk about that before it's on. Shit like that. NWA pay-per-views will come on before them come on. AEW pay-per-views. That's what I'm kind of trying to do now. Fuck the drama. I don't need that shit.
Raise their key interest rate once again. Some say it's going to be 75 basis points. Others say it should be a little bit higher. We're going to find out today. Now, this is something that we know is happening.
We are in a recession. Totally.
It's bittersweet for most people. Because when rates increase, it will slow down the market. Why is this bittersweet? Well, rates are increasing. That's not good. But at the same time, it'll slow down the market. It'll bring inflation down. That's the sweet part about this, is that hopefully inflation will come back down to a more manageable level. Again, we'll have to wait and see. But in today's market, some are saying that we need to get back to consistent growth.
Wait a minute.
What we've seen over the past 2 years is
we'll have to wait and see if the inflation is going to come back down. That ain't fucking good. That's not a good thing to fucking say. Fuck it, we'll have to wait and see. Fuck you, wait and see.
We've seen too much excessive growth. It's just been insane. Companies hire too many people. They pay too much to reinvest back into the company. They grow too quickly, and then they struggle. That's what we got over the past 2 years. So this year, things should be a little bit different. But again, It all happens. It's all going to come down to whatever happens today. Do we see the Federal Reserve jump in? Are they going to be very hawkish? Okay, maybe. We don't know. We're going to find out. Another thing that we are learning a little bit more about is what Congress is doing or technically not doing. First, Congress has been considering a 15% global corporate tax. However, as of right now, this tax is not looking likely due to multiple lawmakers not wanting to move on something like this when the world economy is already so fragile.
They want
Remember,
to tax
the U.S.
us?
Okay,
Wow.
the U.S. is going to know whether we are in a recession tomorrow. But according to many world economists, they are actually saying that the U.S. is going to fare the best. When it comes to getting out of recession, the U.S. is going to be fine. It's the other countries that will not be as lucky. So one of the things here is, according to multiple reports, even Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, that, yeah, the 50...
Believe this guy, like, well, I'll say this, all right? This guy's got a YouTube channel with he has over 300,000 subs, Ballsy. 337,000 subs on YouTube. Like I said, when I listen to people on YouTube, they're usually not a fucking joke. So they're usually some serious motherfuckers. And this guy, what's the difference? Hang on. Adam Schneider. Here, hang on. There you go. There you go. A link in the chat for this guy. I mean, okay, the backstory on this dude is he's got his own business. He's got a bunch of shit that he runs. He's like a self-employed dude. Obviously, too, he's making fucking money off of YouTube with 337,000 subs, you know. He gives like financial advice, and this guy is up there, but there's a better guy than this, though. Honestly, there's this Stephen Gardner. He's way smarter than this dude. But I listen to both of these guys. I got like 4 people that I got going every day, listening about shit like this and stuff. And then Dabu77, my favorite buddy there, with his channel with over 500,000 subs. But he'll talk about global shit sometimes, but not some of this stuff like what's going on here that I'm talking about here. He don't talk about. But like I say, this guy, he got about 337,000 subs. I'm not sure if this guy wrote a book or not. And he just has he has an online business that he sells shit online too. Like this Adam guy here, he fucking has a bunch of different shit going on to make a little bit of money here. I don't know if Fact's retired or not. I don't know. This guy seems all right, though. I mean, he don't seem like too much of a bullshit artist.
15% global corporate tax is still something that many countries want to jump on board with because it's going to create more, fairness, right? We're going to see a little more, some companies aren't just going to go from, let's say, the United States to a different country simply because they're going to save money in taxes. So it'll be a little more fair. But again, we'll see what happens there. But talking about being fair, let's talk about housing. Here's the reason why I want to bring up housing. One of the things that a lot of people are having issues with lately is either being able to afford a house, which is very difficult right now when interest rates are 5%. But the other issue is the houses that are on the market today are not technically affordable, right, to some standards. But when you look at it, interest rates at 5% are not horrible when you look at past history. But when you look at the past 2 years, obviously 5% is almost double what we used to be at. That's an issue. Well, here's what the Biden administration is doing. The Biden administration has actually rewrote the rules on how states and cities can use their portion of $350 billion in pandemic-related funding. Currently, there's a shortfall of about 1.5 million homes or something like that, and something must be done to make up the difference. You either create more homes or you have less people. What's easier to do? You create more homes, right? We can't be out there creating less people. So the Biden administration now allows states to, for one, finance long-term affordable housing loans for nonprofits and also for developers. That's pretty big. The other thing that they've changed and rewritten the rules on, they will also be allowing funding to go to finance development, to repairs, also to operation of any affordable rental housing unit. So completely different. So the good thing about this is the Biden administration is changing the way affordable housing can be acquired. So we're gonna see what happens there. What I can tell you is there's a lot of people that are speculating that something big is coming very soon, and they're speculating on this because the Democratic Party has to do something, have to pass some bill to try to make sure that they win some seats in the upcoming midterm elections. So the speculation, well, I'll tell you right now, as soon as we get any reports on what's going on, what could potentially be coming to the American people, I promise I will fill you in on all the news and updates. Again, just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
Well, there you go. A little bit of an update, I guess. We'll get a stimulus update, ladies and gentlemen. As I provide the fucking shit for you, ladies and gentlemen, as to what's going on. You're welcome.
And exactly how much time they have to get it passed. I have all the details and what you need to know during the video, so let's get right into it. Let's check and exactly how much time they have to get it passed. I have all the details and what you need to know right here in the video, so let's get right into it. All right, as all of us continue to wonder, is a fourth stimulus check and exactly how much time they have to get it passed. I have all the details and what you need to know right here in the video, so let's get right into it. All right, as all of us continue to wonder, is there going to be a fourth stimulus check? If so, how much is it going to be? Who is it going to include? And when are we actually going to get it? We also need to take into consideration how much time do they actually have to get it passed. Believe it or not, they do not have all the time in the world. In fact, their timeline is closing in very, very rapidly, which is exactly what I want to talk about right here in this video, so we can all understand where we currently sit with Congress and their likelihood of passing another check and the very important timeline that they have right in front of them. So let's get into it and discuss all of these details. However, really fast before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you're new here or hands-on right here, right now, as we continue to see all of these new all of these lawmakers coming out with these new proposals and ideas, as well as checks, monthly checks, quarterly checks, one-time lump sum checks, as well as all these other programs and other things going on right here, right now. I'm doing all the research and breaking it down into these videos to help you get as much as you possibly can right here, right now, during this very expensive time as inflation continues to move significantly higher. Either way, I'm here for you in any way that I possibly can be. So again, please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. And of course, feel free to share this video or any else on the channel with your friends, family, and social media. All right, thanks again. Let's get into it and discuss how much time do they really have to get this next check done in the event that they're actually going to be doing one.
Never.
All right. Now, these are some very important details because, like I said, believe it or not, they do not have much time left. In fact, their timeline is closing relatively fast here. So I want to break this all down for you, and I want to point out some key dates that we need to watch here. All right, so it all comes down to the next reconciliation bill. Here's the thing. We've also heard here over the last couple of weeks that Chuck Schumer and Joe Manchin are currently working on the next reconciliation bill. But when do they need to get it passed by? Well, the key date is September 30th. Why? Just because it's the end of the month or what? Well, yes, that's one of the reasons why, but it's actually because September 30th is the end of the fiscal year. And then on October 1st, the new fiscal year begins. So what does this mean? This simply means that if they're going to use their next reconciliation bill, which it sounds like they're going to, it needs to be done by September 30th. Otherwise, they lose that opportunity in this fiscal year. In other words, it comes down to this. You could look at a reconciliation bill as kind of like a wild card when you're playing cards, right? So we've all been there, done that, right? You're playing a game of card, you happen to get a wild card. Do you use it right away, or do you kind of stick it in the back of your hand and maybe hold on to it for the perfect opportunity? When that perfect play comes up, you whip out your wild and you win the whole game, right? We've all been there, done that, right? That's exactly how the reconciliation bill works with Congress. They have the ability to use reconciliation one more time this fiscal year. And again, do you think they're going to use the wild card, or do you think they're just going to let it go on by and they're not going to use it? Well, I'm going to go ahead and say they're probably going to be using it. Why wouldn't they? It's a wild card. They can virtually do anything they want with it. Of course, there are a few limitations, there are a few restrictions, but for the most part, they can do just about anything that they want with it. Well, which is exactly why we've been seeing Joe Manchin and Chuck Schumer working on the next reconciliation bill. Now, we do have a few details on that reconciliation bill, but for the most part, they have not released a whole lot of it because they're kind of working on it behind closed doors. But here's what it comes down to. They need to get it done by September 30th, and then the new fiscal year will begin. However, I want to point this out there as well, and again, we all are very aware of this, but I just want to throw it out there because this is also another key portion of the timeline that we need to take into consideration, which is about a month later is early November, and that is the midterm elections. Yes. Now, again, I have no clue what's going to happen with the midterm elections. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know how to read palms. I don't know how to do all that stuff. But I'm simply telling you this much. If anything changes with the midterm election, as in Democrats lose control of the House or the Senate or both of them, or nothing changes, if they do not lose control because Democrats are in full control right now, then it could be, the situation is where reconciliation will no longer be an option. So if they lose control of either the House or the Senate, reconciliation is not on the table anymore. It's game over. That's it. Game over. Okay. So that's why it's very important to understand this, because they know just as well as we do that this timeline is coming in really, really fast here, and nobody knows what's going to happen for the midterm elections. Can we assume that Democrats will remain in control? Well, that'd be a pretty bad assumption, I think, especially when they have the opportunity to use reconciliation one more time. It's like the opportunity to use your wild card or forfeit the game. What are you going to do? You're probably going to use your wild card, right? I know that I probably would, right? And that's probably what Congress is thinking as well, which is why they're currently working on this. So the fact of the matter is, are they going to come up with another check? Again, I want to throw this out there. I don't have a clue. I'm not sure what Congress is going to do. Half the time, I don't think many of us want to know what Congress is thinking because I just don't think we want to know what Congress is thinking, right? But the fact of the matter is, when it comes down to it, if they do want to pass another check, which again, I want to throw this out there as well, they can add a stimulus check into the reconciliation bill. They can do a lump sum payment. They can do quarterly checks. They could do voucher cards. They could do monthly checks. They could do all kinds of different things. It can be added into the reconciliation bill. It's not a problem. They did it last year in early 2021 with the $1,400 checks. This is exactly what they did back in that package as well. So I want to bring this to your attention just so we can all be on the same page here and understand what this actually means going forward, right? It's a very important time that we're going through right now. Now, one more thing that I want to point out. I've been mentioning this for a very long time now, several months. I've been saying timing is going to be very, very important for this next one. In the event that they do actually pass another check or they even introduce another check, beyond what they've already introduced as far as one-time lump sum payments, monthly checks, quarterly checks, relief payments, gas cards, gas vouchers, gas rebates, all kinds of different things, right? We've talked about it all in previous videos. But the fact of the matter is, timing is going to be very, very important on this next one, regardless of what they do, because they want to time this thing perfectly in front of the midterm election, not too close, but not too far away. They want to time it perfectly so that it is embedded into our minds when we go out to do our voting, right? Now, again, I'm not here to take political sides. I'm not here to persuade people. That's not what I do. I'm simply here to tell you, this is the fact of the matter. We know this. All politicians do it. It's nothing against either side. It's just what they do. They know that timing is very important when it comes down to the midterm elections. Let me throw this out there too. Why do you think that the student loan forgiveness period is ending as of the end of August and going to be resuming September 1st? Now, again, do you think that's going to be pushed out one more time? I'd be willing to bet you just about anything right now that that'll be resumed once again, as in extended out another 90 days or something like that for the student loan forgiveness or forbearance period. Again, why? Because it's perfectly timed right in front of the election. Is he going to have all of a sudden, say, 43 million federal student loan borrowers start to repay 2 months before the election? No way. Million. Not a chance. It's not happening, okay? It's going to be pushed out again. I guarantee it, 100%. If I'm wrong on this, call me out on it, and who knows? Maybe I'll do a massive giveaway here or something, give a whole bunch of money away or something if I'm wrong. But I can almost guarantee you this much, it's not going to be resumed as of September 1st, like he's been saying, as in Biden. So, again, these are some of the reasons why. This is all coming down to timing. But when it comes to the reconciliation bill, September 30th is that key date that we got to watch here because they need to get it done between now and then if they want to get it. And, of course, they can put checks in there if they just wanted to do so. So, again, we'll have to see because that'd be pretty nice timing. Just remember, if they were to pass a check, let's just say right before October, as in the end of September, something like this, it'd be about a month out from when the elections are taking place. Now,
by the way, this guy has 370,000 subs like that, and the other guy had 339 million or 339,000. This guy has 370. And here's what's crazy. I'll tell you guys something else right after this.
Now, again, they could pass the package at the end of September and then distribute checks in mid-October. Just saying, right? That's about 2 weeks before the elections. Again, is that nice timing or what? Again, I'm just throwing out a scenario. I'm not saying this is happening for sure. I have no clue what's going to happen going forward. I don't know what's going on with Congress, and I don't have a crystal ball, like I said. I'm just simply laying out the scenario that if they did this, oh, that sure would be a pretty nice timing right there on their part, right? Pass it in the end of September, and then checks go out in mid-October. Boom, right before the election. Everybody's happy with cash in their pockets, and there you go. So anyway, I want to throw this out there for you. Just let you know what's going on. And again, I'm not here taking political sides. I'm not here to persuade anybody. I'm just simply telling you this is what could possibly happen. Or at the other side of the spectrum, maybe nothing happens. Maybe absolutely nothing happens. Well, if that happens, then I guess it's just a repeat of the last year and a half where absolutely nothing has happened. Are we surprised? Again, probably not really, because they've done nothing. They've done absolutely nothing for people that are struggling right now. So anyway, I'm here for you in any way that I possibly can be. Again, I want to lay this out for you, let you know where we currently stand and what is going on with all of this craziness right here, right now. So again, please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out some of the other thousands of videos right here on the channel. Until next time, have a nice day, enjoy, and I'll catch you again later in the next video.
Well, that was interesting. I got more. There we go. Listen to this one.
Attention retirees, if you're
Steve here, and we're hearing that those on SSI and SSDI could be seeing a bump up in the monthly payments, but is it going to be enough with these increased prices, with inflation, a potential recession, and are we going to see all those provisions for Social Security, stimulus checks, all the things that we've heard promised, are they going to be coming to pass as we're approaching these midterm elections? I'm going to get you caught up on the latest. This is your breaking news. What's up, you guys? It's Steve here, and let's talk about a $2,000 fourth federal level recession stimulus check, which we're hearing is very likely going to be on the way here, as this week we are expecting the announcement of a recession. And also, we just heard from the White House on this. I've got the video footage and articles, and you are not going to believe the response that they just gave. This is your breaking news stimulus check update and stimulus package update. Now, first off, take a look, you guys. We're hearing that the number one reason another check could be on the table is going to be due to a recession. They're saying the way things are going with our economy, a recession is very likely going to be announced this week. And as a result, stimulus checks, they're going to be necessary to help out the American people. Take a look, you guys. How likely are stimulus checks to be used in the next recession? Economists weigh in, and they're saying very likely. Americans are going to need it. Take a look. Stimulus checks likely in the next recession, says one expert, though right now would be a terrible time. And this is due to the fact that we have 9.1% year-over-year inflation. And we're hearing that
this guy has 161,000 subs. This is the lowest guy on the totem pole. But this guy actually is all right, except for he lied one time on one video. Only once.
This week, the Federal Reserve is going to be announcing how they're going to be combating this. We're expecting them to crank up those interest rates. Take a look, you guys. Just coming out today, the Fed could surprise markets by sounding even more aggressive as the economy teeters. And they're saying an aggressive interest rate hike will very likely mean a recession right now. But you guys, we heard from the White House on this, and they said, what are you talking about? No, everything is just fine. Our economy is doing great. Things are going well. And if you don't believe me, take a look at this video footage that just came out from the White House.
Well, consumers are in good shape. They're spending money. They have more income. Jobs are plentiful. They're spending 10% more than last year, almost 30% more than pre-COVID. Businesses, you talk to them, they're in good shape, they're doing fine. We have never seen business credit better ever in our lifetime.
So there you have it, business credit, consumers never better in our lifetime. Now, let me share with you the entire video clip so that way you can see it for yourself here in just a second. But why are they coming out with this? Well, it's because we're hearing that GDP, the economy, we're slightly going to be pulling back, and that's going to be 2 consecutive quarters, which, take a look, the definition of a recession. Typically, most people would say it's generally identified as a fall in GDP after 2 consecutive quarters, right? Well, the White House says, no, you've had it wrong all this time. That is right. Take a look. An official press release from the White House. How do economists determine whether the economy is going to be in a recession? Well, what is a recession? Well, some maintain that it's 2 consecutive quarters of falling real GDP. That constitutes a recession. That is neither the official definition nor the way that economists evaluate the state of the business cycle. Wow. So you've had it wrong all this time. And also, just in case you're wondering, 1 + 1 actually equals 3. Take a look, you guys. You know the White House is not changing the definition of a recession. The White House recently laid out why 2 quarters of negative growth does not always signal a recession. Yet a growing number of voices have accused the administration of changing the definition of a downturn. You guys, let me know your thoughts. I apologize. I normally don't give my opinion on this, but this is just seems silly to me. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, can we just not try to change the definitions of things and defend our stances and try to focus on helping out the American people that are hurting right now? If we are entering into a recession, let's just say we're entering into a recession. We need help, but send out economic provisions. Let's make it targeted to make sure that it helps out those that need it the most and not add more debt and more inflation. Let's reissue existing funds. Let's go ahead and address the things that people need addressed. To me, it just seems like just absolutely ridiculous. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, you guys. I apologize. Normally, I don't give my opinions, but this just seems outright silly to me. But anyways, let's continue on. We're going to be taking a look at the video footage here in just a second. But before we do, if you appreciate the updates, keeping you up to speed on everything going on, if you could just do me a quick favor, smash that like button for me. It helps out my channel a ton with the YouTube algorithm. Also, leave your comment. Not telling you about, people are missing out on this all the time. Go over there, put your email. I'm going to make everything that's available to you, because it's not just the reliefroadmap.com. If you haven't already, go at White House just had to say about the state of our economy, a recession, inflation. We're going to be seeing about some recession very soon. But with that being said, you guys, let's go ahead and dive right in. Let's take a look at this video footage of what the White House just had to say about the state of our economy, a recession, inflation. We're going to be seeing about some recession stimulus checks. Let's go ahead and take a look.
I want to read from Senator Warren's op-ed today, Jared, because it speaks to me. Before the Federal Reserve triggers a recession, Mr. Powell should remember that the one medicine in the kit that he has doesn't treat the economic illness. That we have low unemployment and high inflation are painful, but manufacturing a recession that puts millions of Americans out of work may not even work on high prices. So it seems weird that that's what we're orchestrating. It's not a good way to do business.
So a lot to unpack there, as well as the conversation that Becky just had with Steve. I guess I would really object to this kind of semantic claim. I mean, the two of them just had a very substantive economic discussion. That wasn't about semantics. It was about what's going on with key economic variables. The idea that 2 quarters of negative GDP growth is a technical definition of a recession is wrong. And I think one of the things we tried to point out in that blog is that the folks who actually make that call, the Business Cycle Dating Committee, they look at a set of variables, some of which, as Steve underscored, remain quite strong. Now, when you talk about gas prices, that's right. They're down 66 cents off their peaks, about 13%. And, that's a savings in aggregate of well over $200 million a day. I'm glad you're showing that map. In 8 of those states there in the South, gas is actually below $4 a gallon. I think it's around 30,000 gas stations, about a fifth of all stations. So, yes, prices are too elevated. By the way, they're not twice what they were before Putin's war. They were about 320 there. They're about around 4, what is it today? It's a 436 today. So not twice, but definitely uncomfortably elevated still. We very much have more work to do in that space, but the trend is moving in the right direction.
Jared, it's just the catch-22 that we find ourselves in. And I was listening to Secretary Yellen. rightly talking about how great the jobs market is right now, how low unemployment is right now. You know, consumers still seem to be doing okay. But if you're trying to orchestrate a demand slowdown, all those things make the Fed's job even harder and mean maybe they have to go even further. So I struggle with this. Is the economy in such a good place right now that we can withstand a series of interest rate hikes? Or is the economy in such good shape right now that it means we got to go much further to bring down the pricing pressure?
Well, that's exactly the right question. And I think the point out of the conversation that Becky and Steve had, which is very much the way we think about this, is that if you look at the first half of the year, it's very hard to make a recessionary call. The data just aren't consistent with a recession in the first half, including where we are right now. But what kind of visibility do we have looking forward around the next corner to answer your very, very well-framed question? I mean, those data come in with a lag, which is why the Business Cycle Data Committee tells you you're in a recession well after it started, in many cases after it's over. But I do want to read you one thing, Joe, because this is very timely. It's from an earnings call. It speaks directly to your question. It's from an earnings call by J.P. Morgan last week, so very up to date. Quote, consumers are in good shape. They're spending money. They have more income. Jobs are plentiful. They're spending 10% more than last year, almost 30% more than pre-COVID. Businesses, you talk to them, they're in good shape. They're doing fine. We have never seen business credit better ever in our lifetimes. Now, that doesn't mean all bets are off regarding recession probabilities, but it does mean that the backdrop of a strong labor market, solid balance sheets, elevated consumer spending puts us in a good place relative to where we've often been in times of pressures like those we face right now.
So there you have it, you guys. That just came out, and this week we're going to be hearing from the Federal Reserve, getting that economic data, and it's very likely we're going to be hearing a lot of announcements of an official recession, but the White House is saying it's not official. Now, we will see how everybody responds to this, what's going to be happening with the Federal Reserve, Congress, stimulus. I will keep you up to date every step of the way, you guys. But that is the latest, and once again, thank you so much for joining me. If you made it this far and you haven't already, don't forget, smash that like button.
Well, that's that. See what else we got.
Your laundry soap.
This is Dabu 7. We're now getting word out of Las Vegas that more human remains have been found at Lake Mead.
Wow.
Now, this marks the third body found here within the past few months. Rangers with the National Park Service saying that a witness had alerted them Monday afternoon to remains within the past few months. Now, this marks the third body found here within the past few months. Rangers with the National Park Service that more human remains have been found at Lake Mead. Now, this marks the third body found here within the past few months. Rangers with the National Park Service saying that a witness had alerted them Monday afternoon to remains that were spotted at the Swim Beach area in Lake Mead's National Recreational Area. So they have the Clark County Coroner's Office trying to determine a cause of death.
Damn.
But because of these low water levels, discoveries like this have become more common. We will probably see more at this rate. The first body was found in May inside of a barrel that washed up after the water started to recede, and officials believe that the body is that of a murder victim from the 70s or the 80s.
Damn.
Days later, a second body was found, but officials say that they believe no foul play was involved in that incident. So in terms of this one, we're just going to have to wait and see what the updated information is, male or female, cause of death, if they can glean any information from what they found. But this is the latest. I will update. Make sure to join me on the live streams, going live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube, Dabu777. Make sure you're subbed up and you hit that bell notification so you can join us for the shows. You'll find links below. Much love, y'all.
Damn. That's crazy. Wow. That's fucking nuts. Dead body at Lake Mead, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what to think about that. That's crazy.
That could be used, allow that money to be used to keep essential workers and essential services going, including keeping teachers in classrooms.
A lot of details are coming out about stimulus checks, about more states that are sending out stimulus payments. There's a lot of legislation that have been confirmed. There's a lot of people in different states that have confirmed and have approved these legislation, and they're getting these checks out. There's about 18 states that are sending out stimulus payments. Plus, this whole recession is coming up. I think that's going to be one of the big catalysts, the trigger that's going to allow Congress to get something passed, to get something moving forward. Then it might be hard for them to get a recession relief check going out to people. Now, if they do, if the recession really does kick in, I think
that could be used, allow that money to be.
Hello and welcome to today's daily news report, where I cover all the biggest stories affecting your life and money. You watch this channel each day because I keep you in the loop on what's really going on in Washington, D.C. with President Biden and the U.S. economy. Before I get started, I want to thank today's video sponsor, Audible, and I'll tell you about their generous offer for my YouTube community using lower than reality data to comprise a big predicted COLA boost being announced this fall. Many older Americans cannot say it's closer to 15 to 20%, but the U.S. government won't recognize that because, one, we're in an election year, so we can't have big money going out the door to our own citizens. Two, they refuse to admit that we're in a recession, and they just changed the definition of a recession. Look that up, that's true. And then also, they won't admit we're in a recession because it would make them look bad. And so anyway, all of this is culminating in keeping this inflation number down so that they don't have to raise Social Security benefits to higher than poverty levels. So it's a real shame, but at the same time, the United States is in a tricky financial predicament. Now, according to President Biden's White House physician, he is done with COVID. He's basically better and he's ready to get back to work. This afternoon, President Biden will host dozens of CEOs and labor leaders to discuss the $52 billion Chip and Semiconductor Act bill that was passed in the Senate about 7 months ago, but has been held up by House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. President Biden wants to better understand the situation American businesses find themselves in, while at the same time better understanding the United States' dependency on foreign nations when it comes to computer chips and semiconductors. This week, the Senate plans to vote on giving itself power to negotiate prescription drug prices on behalf of those that have Medicaid and Medicare insurance. This bill should pass. However, there is one thing that could hold it up. Senator Joe Manchin and Senator Lisa Murkowski have both tested positive for COVID. Their vote is absolutely crucial in getting this bill passed, and they're not allowed in the U.S. Capitol to vote. So that could be a hangup that Chuck Schumer says we're going to try to deal with. Speaking of Chuck Schumer, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says lowering drug prices would be a major accomplishment for Americans and help lower inflation in this area for people that use medications regularly. 83% of the country supports lowering drug prices. So this is a bill that should pass and should help people's money situation. Now, honestly, I don't know why it's not higher than 83%. I guess some people like overpaying for drugs, but I'm not one of those. All right, then the Senate said that they will move on to legalizing marijuana. And also they plan to discuss and vote on keeping about $40 billion of Obamacare financial supplement programs in place. If they're not able to pass this, millions and millions of Americans are going to see big hikes on their healthcare premiums this October, which the Democrats definitely don't want that to happen. And the American public definitely doesn't want that to happen. So that's a bill that they need to work on. So they'll be working on legalizing marijuana and keeping Obamacare affordable for lower income families. So the Senate is working on a lot of really big deal bills right now, and hopefully they can get those passed. Now I have a lot more to share with you, but let me take 1 minute to tell you about today's video sponsor. I want to thank today's video sponsor, Audible. Casey and I have been using Audible to listen to audiobooks for development. And Gardner, or text Stephen Gardner to news update. Some of you said in the comments that I was becoming a conspiracy channel when I shared that Russia had shut down the Nord Stream 1 pipeline for their annual maintenance and might not turn it back on.
Well, first of all, that was in the news. That was not my opinion, right? So if anyone's conspiracy, it's the news, not me. But two, Russia has turned the Nord Stream 1 back on, but told Europe that it will only be at 20% of its previous capacity. So they're slashing Europe's gas by 80%. So I guess I was kind of right, but at the same time, I was just sharing the news. So don't think I'm trying to lead you down these like crazy rabbit holes, right? I'm just telling you guys what's in the news. These are big, big stories, right? Like Europe is in full-blown panic mode as they try to figure out how to keep their citizens warm this winter, which starts in about 100 days. So the clock is ticking to figure out how do we take care of Europe, right? Now, Germany is the most reliant and will be the most affected. So they're going to have to really do something with this Russia-Ukraine war situation. The country of Canada, where the United States actually gets a lot of food from, just had their Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, follow in the footsteps of Holland, where they are telling farmers to have less livestock and use a fraction of the fertilizers. Essentially, this new legislation will crush food supplies over time and bankrupt these farmers. And so, like the Dutch, these Canadian farmers are pushing back. They're now planning to use their farming equipment to clog the cities, similar to what we saw with the trucker convoy, until they can get a meeting with Justin Trudeau to say, hey, Prime Minister, like, what's up? Why are you trying to bankrupt us? Why are you trying to kill off our food supply? So I don't know, like, okay, now this is going to sound a little bit conspiracy, but like, why does it all of a sudden seem like governments all around the world are viewing their own people as the enemy, or worse, as a parasite? Right? Like, what's wrong with us? Like, why are you trying to cripple our access to money, our access to food? Like, I don't know, man. Something seems very, very odd. And I read about this every day in the news. Major news organizations are talking about this, right? Okay, now members of Congress.
Because they're trying to fuck everything up so there ain't nothing, so everybody will die of starvation and shit. That's what's going on.
Are issuing a major warning to their colleagues that the country of China is strategically infiltrating the United States of America, and our government has either been too ignorant to their moves or quietly complicit in a subtle takeover. In the past few years, while Democrats and Republicans have been fighting each other instead of fighting for the good of the American people, the Chinese Communist Party quietly bought 192,000 acres of fertile farmland right here in the United States.
Wow.
China has also been quietly buying commercial and residential real estate all over the country. They've also been making offers on businesses and food companies.
Wow, they bought up 200,000 acres. Well, we know who's doing this shit. Fucking China.
With offers so large, U.S. company owners couldn't say no, like a deal too good to say no to. However, a few politicians have noticed China making purchases near U.S. military bases in the name of owning farmland. On Friday, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis said he is very worried about the amount of land China is trying to buy in Florida and the United States. He said the U.S. government should not be allowing the Chinese Communist Party to purchase large swaths of land without serious due diligence before each purchase. Last year, China spent $6.1 billion on U.S. land. Here's where things get even more like an Audible original spy novel. The FBI just released a report this weekend saying that China's mobile communication and equipment company.
Oh yeah, by the way, this guy has 1 million subs. 1,000,003. 1.03 million subs. Like I said, I don't listen to no fucking jokers, man.
Huawei might have technology buried in it that would allow China to spy on and monitor United States citizens and United States government buildings. Now, there are a ton of these Huawei cell phone towers all over the country and around military bases. So they're now saying, as of today, I read that the FBI is warning that some of these farmlands are near secret U.S. military nuclear launch pads. So the FBI is saying that there could be embedded technology capable of scrambling the United States military's ability to launch nuclear weapons.
Wow.
And as of today, the FBI just killed a deal with China. Last year, China offered to build a $100 million Chinese garden in Washington, D.C. that would have all of this incredible vegetation, koi ponds. It would have this, beautiful white pagoda. But the FBI is saying that this could be a disguise to infiltrate secret military action in Washington, D.C. and spy on the United States government. Okay, now, I'm just telling you guys what's in the news. Like, these are huge stories that are in the news that affect you. And now China is making major threats against the United States as House Speaker Nancy Pelosi plans to visit Taiwan, even against the best advice of the U.S. military. So it really begs the question, like, what's so important in Taiwan that Nancy Pelosi's going there, even though the U.S. military heads are saying, don't go to Taiwan right now? I don't know. You guys are going to have to make up your own decision. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments, because I'm reading this morning going, oh, I can't even cover this. It's going to sound crazy, but it's in the news. It's absolutely in the news. All right, now, I can see why the January 6th committee plans to hold more publicly televised hearings in September. According to an independent Axios news report, only 2% of people changed their mind regarding the January 6th situation after hearing the hearings. So, and they didn't even say which direction they really changed. Like, did 2% feel like it was a waste of time? Did 2% feel like Trump was more involved or less involved? They didn't really say, but either way, they're going to be putting on more of these hearings because this data shows that only 2% of people have changed their mind after hearing everything.
Wow.
I mean, it does kind of make you wonder, what if this very committee spent the same amount of time, money, and effort on fixing inflation? How different would the country be if they had spent the last year trying to improve the country? But what do I know? I'm just a guy on the internet, you guys. All right, now, before you go, I want to remind you that you are amazing. Never forget that. Also,
just a guy with 1,000,003 subs. Man, that's pretty crazy. So there you go, guys. That's pretty much everything I mostly got. And I was gonna say, if you go on the video and there's no ad pops up right away, it's because of their YouTube is shadow banning them. And every single one of them is like that I just was listening to for you guys, except for AEW. They're the only one that ain't being shadow banned. All of them are all being shadow banned because you click it and no ad pops up right away. It just rolls right to the video. You guys heard it. There ain't no fucking ads. It's weird shit. How they can just skip out. They're all being shadow banned, ladies and gentlemen. Even a channel with 1 million subs is being fucking shadow banned. That shit, to me, is fucking crazy. That a channel with 1 million subs can fucking be shadow banned. But like I said, all them channels are all 5 of them fucking channels are all being shadow banned and fucked. So is mine. Pretty much everybody's is. We're all being shadow banned, and that's how you know. Because you click it on and no ad pops up. It just rolls right to the video. If you click the video and an ad pops up, then you know you're not being shadow banned. And there's all the proof and everything on that, so you guys now know all that shit. Yep. So now you know the facts, ladies and gentlemen, when YouTube tries to fucking shadow ban you. It's fucking bullshit. No ad will pop up. It'll just roll right to the video. Oh, I'm being shadow banned. Shit. They're doing it to everybody. I mean, there's a channel with 11 million subs that's being shadow banned. 1 million subs. 500,000 subs. 300. Almost 400,000. 150,000 subs. It doesn't matter. It really don't matter. They just fucking screw you over, man. They just shaft you. Fucking shadow banning us. It's crazy. Crazy. Crazy ass shit, man. I don't know why YouTube fucking has to do that shit.
Out there. Redneck Hawaii. 400. He's coming on. He's going to be a co-host. He was the film. We already booked him. This is like sold out. There's part 2. What's going on and shit? True, motherfuckers. You didn't tell me this. Kick his motherfucking ass. Kick that fat fucking ass. Yeah. Morning, Coon. I got a bounty on 100 plus episodes. There was fuck TV.
Me and
True motherfucker. All right, motherfuckers. See you next week. See you Sunday. Peace out. See you Sunday. See you every Wednesday. Later.
I'll have that kind of mentality to take people. And, you know, because I can